Hey, it's Lee from Amion. Just making a quick video here to show you how to get the Amion mobile app installed on your phone. Pretty straightforward process. I'm using an iPhone. If you've got an Android phone, there's something called the Google Play Store, which will have your app in it. On an iPhone, there's the App Store, and that's the button I'm going to click here. Every iPhone should have this on it. I will click on it, and it's going to open up to, well, I've got it searched for Amion already. If I were opening up from scratch, I'd see something like this, and I'd click the search field at the lower right to search for whatever I'd like. If I do a search for Amion, it's the Amion Physician Scheduling app that I want. So this for me was the second search return down. It's that same matrix of green, blue, and white squares that folks are used to seeing. I'll click the cloud and the down arrow over to the right to kind of get that installation started. And it takes a couple seconds depending on your internet connection. Mine's pretty fast. And then you can click open. That'll open it right away. You'll also then have this very same Amion icon as a button on your screen. You can click that to do the same thing. When I open it up for the first time, it's going to ask me to sign in with Doximity, the makers of the mobile app. If you don't have a Doximity account, you can click the bottom option, and that's the one I'll choose now. When I choose that, it'll ask me to verify myself. So I'm going to enter a name, and let's follow that process. I'll enter my name and click Find My Profile. It's going to look for a couple different people whose name matches mine. I don't see my name, so I'm going to click Don't See My Name, and now I need to complete an account. It's got my name entered already at the top. I'll choose my occupation. I'm going to say that I'm a dermatologist, and I need an office address. This is pretty straightforward. There's my office address. I'll click complete. And the last thing I need to do is enter an email and a password. And it might be something like lee@myhospa.org. I'm making one up, of course, but any email address will work here. And I'll enter a password. I think it'll want me to enter a fairly complex password. Then I can click complete. And I believe that's all it'll take to register me. I'll click Get Started next. And the Amion login code that it's asking for here is the same code that folks would use to get in and see their schedule at amion.com. So that existing shared staff access code, that's what goes here. I will enter that login. This is one of our sample accounts. And I'll look for myself in this schedule, this list of staff here. Let's see, am I one of the people? There's Lee. All right. The next couple screens are sort of a guide to some of the new features that have been added recently. A lot of feedback came in about the mobile app, and we got the app team to address it. So it's letting you know that there's a new My Schedule button. I'll click Continue, and then we'll be able to see who's on today. That makes sense. I'll click Got It, and here we are. I need to select a group. Let's see. Here we are. It looks like my schedule was last updated by my coworker who's on the West Coast, where it's 11:52 a.m., but it's 2:52 p.m. for me here out on the East Coast. There is the list of people working today. That's great. This is the Who's On list. So here's who's working today based on the assignments on my schedule. I can click on somebody's assignment, actually, and view that person's schedule in more detail, or follow that person, send a message if our schedule's set up for messaging. I can report an issue. A lot of helpful stuff there. I can use the arrows at the top right to bump ahead and see what tomorrow looks like. Pretty straightforward. If I click on My Schedule down at the bottom, the second link from the lower left, I get a little explainer again showing my schedule over months. Here is what my schedule looks like. There isn't much on the horizon for me. I'm working next Friday the 30th. If I click on that 30th, I can see my upcoming shift for next Friday. If I go back to December, I can see what I've had going on. I haven't worked a shift since November 15th, it looks like. And if I click on that 15th, I can see all of my November assignments, although there's just one in the list for me. Down at the bottom, the third icon from the left is Messages, and there's another little explainer since I'm getting in here for the first time. This is the spot where I could send and receive messages from my coworkers or get messages from the Amion.com posted schedule if messaging is turned on. And then down at the lower right is the Classic tab, another little explainer here, but this Classic tab is basically the same view that people see of the schedule when they're at Amion.com looking at the posted online schedule there. So if they're wanting to use any of those features or see what they're familiar with, that's the spot to do it. And that's basically it. I think most folks will spend their time in the Who's On tab at the lower left so they can see what's going on for their group today, or the My Schedule down at the bottom next to it so they can see what they personally have going on as far as assignments. Okay, if you have any questions about this stuff, you can always reach out to Amion support. That's just support@amion.com and ask us to help with figuring something out. Yeah, thank you, and we're happy to get any kind of feedback you have on the app as well. All right, thanks for watching.